Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here as we prepare for race number 3 of the second season of the NNSCRA Duracell Cup Series. Getting ready today for the run of the Hollywood Casino 400 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Start out the season with our first race being at a 2.5 mile super speedway in the Daytona 500. Last week we were at Manassas, a 2 mile speedway, and now we kind of lower the distance down a little bit more here at the 1.5 mile speedway of Las Vegas. We will be using the 2019 rules package here today, so we'll see what type of racing that'll bring about. Of course, if you didn't tune in last season, we were here 1 year ago. The racing, as I recall, was actually really good, and we'll see if we're in for an exciting race here today. Jordan Lopez comes into this race the defending winner of the event, and he's been pretty good the last couple of weeks as well. He had a pretty solid run in the Daytona 500, and then last week he gained the most spots of any driver, jumped up 19 spots in the standings after a top 5 run at Manassas, right behind his teammate Trey Wright, who took the victory in last week's race. On the pole for today's race is going to be Ryan Butcher in the number 78 3M Toyota Camry out of Auto Junction Racing. Ryan Butcher is looking for his second win of his career and, of course, trying to get into his first playoff spot, as he just barely missed out last season. Alongside of him is going to be Adam Garcia. Talk about turning a season around. Last year, Adam Garcia found himself dead last in points multiple weeks, while this season, after 2 great runs to start off the year, he is 6th in the standings coming into this race, and he is still looking for his first win of his career. The defending winner of this race will line up in 3rd. That is Jordan Lopez, so we'll see if he can have just as dominant a car this year as he had last year. And without further ado, let's go down trackside and get those most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines.
So as the command is given, you can take a look on the left side, or not the left side, wow, I'm dyslexic, on the right side of your screen at today's starting lineup, and we will give you your top 10 in the point standings coming into today's race. Seth Cole, after 2 straight top 5 finishes to start out the year, he is your points leader coming into today's race. 2 points in hand over last week's winner, Trey Wright. Whoop, hit the wrong button there. Then Ryan Acosta is 3rd in points, 9 points back. Benny Watson currently in 4th. He's 11 points out. And Benjamin Miles having a great start to his season. He is 5th in the standings, 12 points out of the top position. The rest of the top 10 in points are Adam Garcia, William Brock, Mitchell Collins, Matthew Rodriguez, and Charles Sanford. 24 points separate the top 10 in the standings. For our onboard cameras here today, the Chevy onboard camera going to be the SunTrust onboard camera of William Brock, who rolls off from 4th place today. The Toyota camera, Ryan Acosta with the Home Depot onboard. Dylan Young carries the Ford onboard camera, the Hooters onboard camera. Zach Rogers is the Dodge representative with the Corn onboard camera. And our defending winner of this race, Jordan Lopez, carries today's helmet cam. As 67 laps of racing ready to be run, the Hollywood Casino 400 is green. Let's roll at Vegas. Out of turn 2, you see that inside line prevail as Butcher will move up to the outside line now. That opens the door for Jordan Lopez down low. And Jordan Lopez, who won this race 1 year ago, is going to lead the first lap of the second season at Las Vegas. Here comes the Burger King Toyota of Wyatt Quayle to the bottom, and almost got forced 3 wide. Mitchell Collins took a peek there in the Sunny D Ford Mustang. One thing you're going to see here in this race is a lot of different drivers with different paint schemes from what they had at Daytona and Manassas. There's a bit of a car set thing that I've got, a car set, not program, but list, I guess you could say, that I have, where drivers can run up to 3 schemes in a season. And what I have is the first car set. They get run at 2 mile and higher speedway, super speedway tracks. The second set get run at the 1.5 mile tracks, and the third set get run at dirt tracks, short tracks, and road courses. So you will see a number of drivers with their secondary schemes here today. As we're going to go maybe 3 wide at the front. Yes, indeed. Jordan Lopez getting kicked up to the outside line. I'm doing a terrible job with the cameras here today. My goodness. Right behind Mitchell Collins is Jose Mills there in the 98. 4-time winner last season. The Aquafina Ford Mustang forcing his way on the bottom. It'll be a drag race to the line, and it looks like it will be Jose Mills leading that lap. Right behind him, Kyle Matthews. Matthews took the biggest drop in the point standings last week after a dead last finish at Manassas. And it was basically due to the pit wall at the entrance of pit road. But Kyle Matthews, as a result of that DNF, dropped from 19th to 32nd in the points coming into this race, so certainly looking to bounce back. Jessica Shelton now to his inside, his teammate out of S3 Motorsports. And what am I doing? My goodness. And now Benjamin Miles going to force the issue 3 wide. Jessica Shelton jumped up 16 spots in points last week from 33rd to 17th. And we already documented top of the program Benjamin Miles coming into this race with 2 straight top 10s to start out the year, 5th in the point standings. You know, I looked at the points, and it's amazing that I look 1 year ago at the final point standings from season 1, and you look at the drivers that struggled last year in points, how they've been able to now, here in the first few races of this season, find themselves up inside the top 15 in points. You've got Trey Wright. He had the win last year at Lakewood, but he was way down outside the top 30 in the standings. He's 2nd in the points. Benjamin Miles, 5th in points. Adam Garcia, 6th in the standings. And Charles Sanford, 10th in points. Cole Baker, 12th in the standings, our Daytona 500 winner. So a lot of drivers have really been able to kind of put their bad season behind them, and they've been able to focus on this season and really have done a great job of at least starting out the year on a high note. As saw a little bit of an issue there with our pole sitter, Ryan Butcher. He was down on the apron. Oh, got a car on the wall, and there goes Matt Haas in the 8 around. Caution will fly. Oh, and this is going to be a big wreck on the front stretch. They're still piling in. Chris Dollerton is in it. Jose Mills, a lot of damage. Shelton. Derek Hamill. I think that was Cole Baker I saw up ahead. Sebastian Kukulon. Michael Norman. Well, it was looking like we were going to have a long green flag run. We didn't. Zach Rogers was the leader on the way back to the start-finish line there to receive the caution, so he'll pick up the pace car, I think. Although it looks like they got Ryan Costa ahead of him. These drivers are all coming to pit road. They scored Zach Rogers the leader, but I guess because he didn't maintain pace speed waiting for the pace car, they have given Ryan Acosta the opportunity to come down pit road as the unofficial race leader. But Chris Dollerton's on pit road. Tough break there for the defending champ. The defending Daytona 500 winner, Cole Baker's on pit road. And Jose Mills also, I believe, has already taken his car back behind the wall. Let's see what happened. First to Ryan Butcher that split the field up. And then when we had the wreck at the tail end of the lead group with Jessica Shelton, Matt Haas, Derek Hamill, and others, that's what brought about this big wreck on the front straightaway. Well, here's what happened to split the field up. It didn't bring out the caution. You can see right there, I think there was contact between Zach Rogers and Mitchell Collins, and it sent the 22 up the racetrack into the wall off of turn 4. And you can see it slowed up Ryan Butcher, Cole Baker, William Brock, and others. That's what split up the field. It forced Derek Hamill down onto the apron, and he was the car that was actually riding down on the apron into turn 1. I thought it was Ryan Butcher that I saw, but it was actually the rookie in the 31. And you'll see right here, he's going to, fortunately, as his car going to go down there, he's going to get 2 tires down on that apron. That could have shot him right back up in front of traffic, but fortunately it didn't. And I think when he came up, Cole Baker led off to let him get back onto the racing surface. Ryan Butcher did not lift. He was able to go around the outside, and that's why he was basically the lonely man between 2 packs of race cars. So that did not bring out the caution, fortunately. Mitchell Collins was able to keep the car straight, get it off the wall. Everybody gave him the opportunity to gather it back up. So that did not bring out the yellow, but the following lap we were not so lucky. All right, let's see what culminates here into turn 3. 3-wide formation here between Matt Haas on the bottom, Chris Dollerton in the middle, Jessica Shelton up top. You got him 3 wide behind him. That is Jose Mills, Matt McIntyre, and Adam Garcia. Oh, and there you see, boy, I don't know if Matt Haas just pushed up or what, but Chris Dollerton and Jessica Shelton both went up into the wall, and then right there you can see, I think it was Jose Mills, turned the 8 of Matt Haas around. He then gets spun off the nose of Ryan Butcher, and then this second pack of cars, they come flying in, and they don't even slow down. And there you see Derek Hamill runs into Chris Dollerton. There's where Collins gets involved. And there's going to be a number of drivers that get collected up in this one. Here comes Levi McIntyre, Keith Batson, rather. Boy, I can't talk. James Qualls, Carter Friesen. Believe that's Vince Almariego there in the middle of that. Trey Wright, last week's winner. Jesse Turner, who was the runner-up in this race 1 year ago. I think he might have gotten a piece along with Johnny Gardner. Charles Sanford, you can see right there, making his way around Cole Baker. I think he got through unscathed. Alexander Rowe there on the right side of your screen. I can't tell if he's got damage or not. He's facing into the wall after he had to slow up for Levi McIntyre. Jack Mitchell's in the middle of that as well. Don't know if he sustained any damage. I'm trying to make out who that car is up on the outside of Carter Friesen. Looks like... Oh, that is the 84 of Cody Lamas, the Cinnabon Toyota Camry. So he got involved as well. You can see Kukolan behind him there in the, I don't even know how you pronounce that sponsor, Enos? I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, Enos. He's got some damage on the rear of his race car. Keith Batson, who comes into this race in the 11th position in points, had a great run last week at Manassas. A lot of front-end damage on the U.S. Navy Blue Angels Ford Mustang. And they were, oh my gosh, they were 6 wide going through turn 1 here after leaving the accident. That's not a good idea. Ooh, contact there between Jack Mitchell and Trey Wright. And I think Michael Norman ran to the back of Johnny Gardner as well. And somehow they all didn't spin there in turns 1 and 2. That was kind of interesting. James Qualls was back behind all that. Don't know if he got any damage. I think he got through unscathed. I think Trey Wright, Alexander Rowe, a couple of other drivers too might have gotten through with relatively little, if no damage. So we'll find all that out in just a moment. But for now, let's take a couple of onboards because there were a couple of drivers that were back around this that would have seen what happened. And actually, we didn't have any onboards because I realized that all 5 drivers that are carrying our onboard cameras were actually ahead of that wreck at the time that it took place. So we actually did not have any onboard footage from any of our onboard cameras. So after the pit stops, Ryan Brommer is going to restart as the leader. Ryan Acosta will line up in 2nd. Marcus Sacchi will line up in 3rd. So right now he is the highest running rookie. Adam Garcia and Jordan Lopez complete the top 5. Zach Rogers, Dylan Young, Austin LaPlante, Ryan Butcher, and Wyatt Quayle. That's going to be your top 10. Out of the race, there are going to be 5 drivers in total. Those are going to be the cars of rookie Derek Hamill, Cole Baker, Jose Mills, Chris Dollerton, and Keith Batson. Obviously, they were the ones that really sustained the most damage in that wreck. And the one that's going to take the biggest hit in the point standings as a result of this one is probably going to be Keith Batson, who, as I mentioned, came into this race in the 11th position in the points. Cole Baker's going to take a hit as well. Came in 12th in the standings, and boy, it has not been a good last couple of weeks since winning the Daytona 500 for him, as he finished a lap down in last week's race at Manassas, and now he's finishing with a DNF here this week at Las Vegas. So we've got a total of 35 cars still running. They are all on the lead lap, but you got to wonder back there with drivers like Mitchell Collins, Michael Norman, Matt Haas, Jessica Shelton, Levi McIntyre, who we know got involved in the wreck, if they're going to be up to speed or not. Also, with 67 laps of racing here today, I very much doubt that pit stop they made there under caution is going to be the only one they're going to have to make before the conclusion of this race. Battle for the lead. Ryan Acosta to the inside line, and he will go to the point. Ryan Acosta, 1 top 5, 1 top 10 to start out the season. 3rd in the points coming into the 3rd race of the season, and still looking for his first career win in the Duracell Cup Series. Same can be said for Dylan Young there in the 2. It's the best run I've seen him have all season. The last 2 races, he's run the Wawa sponsorship Got involved in a wreck at Daytona, got involved in a wreck at Manassas. He finished both races, but he was off the pace in both. And so definitely trying to get some better mojo, if you will, with the white and orange colors of Hooters on his Ford Mustang this week, as Austin LaPlante literally forced his way to the inside line on Ryan Acosta for the lead. See the field getting split up back there with drivers that were damaged and off the pace. It has definitely broken the field up quite a good bit. And it took us, lap 8, lap 9 before that first caution came out. Something tells me that the tire heat was starting to build up. Drivers are having difficulty coming off of turn 4 with the car getting tight on the bottom. And I think that's what led to a couple of those incidents out of turn 4. That one that didn't bring out the caution and the one that eventually did bring out the first yellow of the day. So with us going back green, we're going to have to keep an eye and see when we get about 8-9 laps into this run if the same issue is going to happen again. And it might happen up here towards the front because they're 3 wide for second. Matt McIntyre on the bottom, Ryan Butcher in the middle, Ryan Acosta up top side. It's a Camry 3 wide formation, as now Matt McIntyre is going to move into the race lead. I think I hear a car up ahead that they're going to catch. That's the 99 of Levi McIntyre, who is damaged and off the pace, and he's maybe a little less than a straightaway ahead of the lead group. Kyle Matthews now with a run to the bottom, and right behind him, the Caterpillar Toyota Camry out of Michael Norman Motorsports. That's Matthew Rodriguez. Matt Rod comes into this race 9th in the point standings. Been a kind of quiet driver in the first 2 races, but definitely you got to take notice. Matthew Rodriguez, of course, last season was a winner in the Duracell Cup Series, but it came during the playoffs, so it didn't count towards a playoff position. You got to think that's definitely on the minds of that 57 team now, knowing they got to get a win early, and now they catch Levi McIntyre in a terrible place on the front straightaway, and that's going to hold up the whole outside line. So Kyle Matthews goes to the lead. Right behind him, Benjamin Miles. The yellow, black, and white Chevrolets go P1 and P2. Cody Lamas is going to, make that to Austin LaPlante's going to move into 3rd place with Ryan Brommer and Vince Almariego now into 4th and 5th. Good run there for Vince. He's 15th in the points coming into this race. After moving over to Backmarker Motorsports, he's another driver looking for his first win of his Duracell Cup Series career, and the caution flag is out. Second time today that the yellow flag will wave here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And I've got a sneaking suspicion it might have something to do with all them being wadded up behind the slower lap machine of Levi McIntyre. And I think that's exactly the case, because Matthew Rodriguez, I'm pretty certain, was the first car that was behind McIntyre, and he's got damage. He might have been the only one. Nope, there were some others that were up near the front that got some damage as well. Zach Rogers in the 6 and Matt McIntyre in the 7. And if I was a betting man, I would say it had something to do with Levi McIntyre, as we got some strategy splits going on here. Some drivers stay out. Ryan Brommer from the 4th position will lead a good group of cars down pit road. And they'll make pit stops here. Still don't think this puts them in the fuel window, but you never know. I mean, this could be a very interesting fuel strategy race if we do manage to go green the rest of the way. A little contact there on pit road between Ryan Acosta and rookie Casey Nanico. As let's look back and see what happened to bring out the caution for the second time here today at Vegas. Well, apparently Matt Rod was having enough of riding behind Levi McIntyre, losing position, so he dives down to the bottom. Unfortunately for him, Ryan Butcher had a run on the inside line, and looks like Ryan really tried to get off of Matt Rod, but just couldn't. And Matthew Rodriguez slides up into Zach Rogers and Matt McIntyre. Pretty hard hit into the wall for all 3 of those race cars. And Matthew Rodriguez is left there facing the wrong way, heading into turn 4. That was enough to bring out the caution for the second time here today. And Matt Rod, Matt McIntyre, and Zach Rogers, I believe, all at the time are running up inside of the top 15. We'll see if they're going to be able to continue. For now, we're going to go back for yet another restart. Ooh, that was close there between Matt Haas and Jessica Shelton as well. But let's go back now for the green. Nobody out of the race, but we only have 34 cars on the lead lap now as Levi McIntyre went a lap down under that last green flag run. Let's try and see if we can get you a full field rundown here as quickly as we can, as Kyle Matthews is the race leader. Benjamin Miles lines up second, Austin LaPlante in third. Vince Almariego's fourth, Jordan Lopez in fifth, Dylan Young sixth. The rest of the top 10 are Jesse Turner seventh, Sebastian Kukala in eighth, Trey Wright in ninth, and Carson Gum completing the top 10. 11th is Adam Garcia. 12th place is going to be... 11th rather is Mitchell Collins, my apologies. 12th is Adam Garcia. 13th is Wyatt Quayle. 14th is Marcus Sachi. I believe he is the last of the drivers that stayed out here under this caution. First driver to pit was Ryan Acosta. He will restart in 15th place. 16th is going to be James Quall. 17th, Ryan Butcher. 18th, Seth Cole. 19th is William Brock. Playing top 20, Johnny Gardner. 21st is Carter Friesen. 22nd, Benny Watson. 23rd, Charles Sanford. 24th, Matt Haas. 25th is Ryan Brommer, Jack Mitchell 26th, 27th Cody Lamas, 28th Casey Nanico, Jessica Shelton 29th, 30th Alexander Rowe, Matt McIntyre 31st, 32nd Michael Norman, 33rd is Matthew Rodriguez, and 34th is Zach Rogers. Green flag back in the air, 34 cars in the lead lap of 35 still running. Kyle Matthews looking for his second Duracell Cup Series victory of his career. He went to victory lane last year at Bristol Motor Speedway, which is a track we will be going to in the next few weeks. As we look ahead on the schedule, we head next week to the D-shaped mile-and-a-half track of Atlanta Motor Speedway. Last year we did not run the 2019 rules package there, but we will be running it this season at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Then the following week we go to a new configured Phoenix. I know we ran the Phoenix where we have the start-finish line swapped from front straightaway to back straightaway last season, but this is a little bit more of an updated track. And then the following week, we go to Thunder Valley, Bristol Motor Speedway. I believe we're under caution. Yes, we are. Caution is out for the third time here today. And, little drag race there to the line between Almariego, Austin LaPlante, and Dylan Young. Hopefully they don't wreck here, trying to slow down under pacing. And it looks like they will settle it out. The incident looked like it took place in the front straightaway, and someone's smoking. That's the rookie Alexander Rowe. A lot of smoke billowing from his race car. A driver that in his rookie season came into this race 13th in points and actually was the rookie points leader also. It looks like the engine may have just shut off on that race car as well as the smoke finally stopped pouring from beneath his Red Bull Chevrolet. Jack Mitchell, his day looks like it may be over as well. It looks like they are the only two. And again, I'm going to make the assumption that it was due to the slower machine of Levi McIntyre. Somehow I think that they probably should park the 99 if he's causing this many wrecks. There's some interesting strategy, some teammates. Wyatt Quayle, Johnny Gardner stay out along with Seth Cole. No surprise to see Ryan Brommer stay out because he pitted under the last caution, but just about everybody else is on pit lane, including drivers who pitted under the last caution. So, as pit stops take place here, gas and go only for Vince Almariego and Austin LaPlante. Let's go back and see what brought out yet another yellow flag here at Las Vegas. Well, Levi McIntyre didn't cause this wreck exactly, but I think his slowing up the field was a byproduct that led to this. You can see everybody's wadded up. Jack Mitchell's going to try to go to the inside of Matt Haas. Jessica Shelton gets a really good run out of turn 4 on the bottom. And Jack Mitchell came down. I don't think he intentionally blocked Jessica Shelton, but he did block her. And there you see he gets spun around off her nose, and nowhere for rookie Alexander Rowe to go. Oh, there was some contact right there as well. Matt McIntyre and Zach Rogers get involved in yet another wreck. This might be enough to take Matt McIntyre out of the race. Don't know about Zach Rogers, but the both of them have gotten caught up in 2 wrecks. I believe they've gotten caught up in the last 2 wrecks of this race. And tough break there for Jack Mitchell as well. A lot of damage on his race car. He has not had a good start to the season as he comes into this race with an average finishing position of 32nd. He's 36th in the points coming into this one. And we already mentioned about Alexander Rowe. Came in the rookie points leader. I don't think he'll be the rookie points leader heading to next week's race at Atlanta. But for now, it's time to go back for yet another restart. And, you know, the old saying, cautions breed cautions. That seems to be the case here. Obviously, I think if they got the 99 off track, we might be able to settle into a long green flag run. But as of right now, that does not seem like that's going to be the case. The garage area beginning to fill up now. 3 more drivers out of the race. 33rd will be where Jack Mitchell will officially finish. Alexander will be 34th, and Matt McIntyre will finish in 35th. So, as we get set for the restart once again, we've got 32 cars running, 31 of them on the lead lap. Levi McIntyre, again, going to be a hindrance for these drivers on this restart. As some strategy playing out here, Wyatt Quayle, along with teammate Johnny Gardner, decided to stay out, so they will line up in first and second. Then you got Seth Cole lined up in third. He comes in the points leader with back-to-back top fives to start out the season. Ryan Brommer will restart fourth. William Brock there in fifth. He's got some damage on his race car, as do the three cars behind him. Matt Haas with the rear end damage. Michael Norman with front, left, and rear damage. And no hood on Casey Nanico. Vince Almriega was the first driver to hit pit road. He'll restart in the 9th position with Dylan Young completing the top 10. This might be one of the more nerve-wracking restarts we've had all race long, with all these damaged drivers starting up near the front green flag back in the air here at Las Vegas. I want to drop back here just to keep an eye on these drivers making their way around Levi McIntyre and Casey Nanico. Make sure nothing happens. As we got a battle for the lead between teammates, Johnny Gardner gets to the inside of Wyatt Quayle. If they could just make it through turns 3 and 4, that outside line is wadded up. And in that outside line, a couple of drivers that were out in front earlier on, Benjamin Miles and Kyle Matthews. Right now, Nanico's blocking the outside line. McIntyre's blocking the inside line. Now the inside line's going to be able to move, as both the slow cars going to move up to the outside line. It's like for now we might be okay of getting through without any incident, but we'll keep checking back occasionally. Meanwhile, we're going to move up to the front as Ryan Brommer takes over the race lead. William Brock moving into second. That car does have damage, the 88, but it looks like he is still somewhat up to speed. Doesn't seem to really be affecting him. Same for Matt Haas there in the 8. He's got that rear end damage, but he is still, it seems, up to pace. And Vince Almriego down there on the bottom now, he definitely is better on these drivers as far as fuel is concerned, but not really as far as tire wear, because remember, he and Austin LaPlante, who are lined up there on the bottom, they did fuel only on their pit stop. Well, the field is definitely broken up, though. You've only got about 8 cars in this lead pack. Then you got to get back here to Jesse Turner, Charles Sanford, Jordan Lopez, who were all held up behind Levi McIntyre when he was blocking that inside line. But this group might be able to produce enough speed to catch back up to that lead group. We'll have to wait and see if that's going to be the case. Last time by, the gap between 8th and 9th place was just about 2.6 seconds. We'll see what it is this time, as there's a lot of battling going up here at the front of this second group, so that might hinder their progress. We'll wait and see. 2.6 last time, this time by still 2.6. They neither lost nor gained any time on the top 8. As Ryan Acosta makes it 3 wide here. This is not for the lead. This is a good battle, but it's only going on for 9th position. The battle for the lead's up here, and that's also 3 wide. Wyatt Quayle to the inside of Vince Almriego and Austin LaPlante. And the way these guys are racing, I don't think we've seen our last caution. I mean, we just moments ago hit the halfway point of this race. The midway point of lap 34 was the midway point of this race. And so there is still a long ways to go, and still a lot of opportunity for this race to turn into a fuel strategy race. Whoa! What? There goes William Brock. There's the caution. Oh no. Oh no. Oh boy. Well, there's no need to call it. You saw what happened. And Charles Sanford went for a wild ride. They're still wrecking. They're still wrecking. They're still wrecking back there. Well, no doubt about it. We are in Las Vegas. Las Vegas is a city all about luck. And I think here today, Las Vegas Motor Speedway decided, all right, we're going to have this be a race of luck. And we'll see who gets to finish this race and who doesn't. There are going to be a lot of drivers in the garage area after this one. Sebastian Kukulon's day, already done. Ryan Brommer, Casey Nanico, Michael Norman, Jessica Shelton, Matt Haas, Mitchell Collins, Carson Gum, Ryan Butcher all on pit road. Levi McIntyre, that car's finally given up the ghost as he is smoking. Now look at all the damaged cars coming down pit road here. Brock, Trey Wright, Zach Rogers, Benjamin Miles, Kyle Matthews. Jordan Lopez, I can't tell if he's got damage. Yeah, I think he's got damage on the rear of his race car, so his opportunity of going back-to-back at this track in 2 seasons, very limited. Wyatt Quayle on pit road, I think that's a regularly scheduled stop for him. That turns the lead over to the rookie Marcus Sachi, who finished second in the 500 a couple weeks ago. Carter Friesen now will be in second as he decided to stay out. I think this is definitely the big one here today at Las Vegas, no doubt about it. Let's go back and see what happened. It happened right up in the lead pack. Well, a lot of cars have taken their left-hand turn to the garage area already, and right now it's looking like we could have as little as 15 cars still left running in this race, and this is why. Looked like somebody hit, I think Matt Haas hit a bump going there into turn 3, and that just got his car up the track into Ryan Brommer, and then he gets up into the left rear quarter panel of William Brock. And then this is where the problem is. You had that second pack that had gotten held up earlier. They come flying in, and they don't stop as Matt Haas and Ryan Brommer come down to traffic. And there you see Butcher, Lopez, Wright, Lamas, Rodriguez. There's Norman. Big hit there for Charles Sanford. There's Benny Watson. He hits Sanford as well. There's Shelton, Qualls, Garcia, Matthews, Miles. And even to this point, it's not over. There were a couple of other drivers that came flying in. I think the 77 of Casey Nanico and the 22 of Mitchell Collins are going to come flying in a moment. There's Sebastian Kukulon. See, we can see right there. Yep, there you can see right there is the hit for Nanico into the back of Rogers. And I believe Mitchell Collins ran into Ryan Brommer. Lot of torn up race cars. I mean, how many were there? I mean, 15, 20 cars in that wreck. Looked like at least that much. And we didn't have much of an opportunity in the first couple of wrecks to be able to use our onboard cameras. I guarantee you we are going to be able to use our onboards here after this wreck. So let's take a couple of them. Alright, here's our onboard on the Chevrolet of William Brock. What I want us to do is pay close attention to the 8 of Matt Haas going down here in the entrance of turn 3. Let's see if that car did bottom out. Nope, he didn't bottom out. He got forced down to the apron by Ryan Brommer. That's what caused him to shoot up the racetrack. Well, call the Gazette. We've got ourselves a headline. Dylan Young missed a wreck this season in the Duracell Cup Series. Let's go on board with the Ford of Dylan Young. Wow. He was very nearly the one that got the first hit. The car that was to his outside, Ryan Butcher, was actually the car that had the first hit of the drivers in that second group. It has not been a good day so far for Zach Rogers. Let's see what he saw. And then here comes the shot right here. No, I guess not. I thought he got hit by the 77, but I guess he didn't. And now let's see what Jordan Lopez, the defending winner of this race, saw, courtesy of the helmet cam. And where do you go? The track was completely blocked up there on the exit of turn 4. Well, that's it for our onboards. Let's go back for the restart, see who's left. Well, all I can say is if we don't manage to run the rest of this race green flag to the end, I'm going to be very disappointed. And there's a very good reason why. There are only 14 cars left in this race. They're all on the lead lap, but only 14 cars remain of the 40 cars that took the green flag to start off this race. Now, one thing that I will say is that more often than not, I get kind of disappointed with races that are wreck fests, but when you look at a couple of these wrecks, where they took place and how they took place, it's typical Las Vegas, to be honest. With the field getting split up into 2 groups in 2 of our big wrecks, that's very typical of Las Vegas, so I'm not really all that surprised And to be honest, we've had some really good green flag races at Daytona and Manassas, so you had to expect there was going to be a track that was going to have a couple of multi-car wrecks. So this is very typical Las Vegas, but now with a smaller field, I'll be very disappointed if we end up having another yellow flag. Marcus Sacchi lines up the leader, Carter Friesen second, Vincent Riego third, Wyatt Quayle fourth. Your top five completed by Austin LaPlante. Green flag back in the air with, I believe, 28 laps to go. Johnny Gardner, Seth Cole, Dylan Young, Ryan Acosta, Zach Rogers still soldiering on. He was 10th for the restart with Trey Wright, William Brock, Jordan Lopez, and Benjamin Miles, the remaining drivers on the track. Kyle Matthews going to be the highest of the DNFers in 15th. Adam Garcia 16th. Michael Norman 17th. Jessica Shelton 18th. 19th, Matt Haas. Clean top 20 will be pole sitter Ryan Butcher, Mitchell Collins, Carson Gum, Levi McIntyre, Ryan Brommer, Charles Sanford, Jesse Turner. Didn't see Turner get involved in the wreck, at least not, I didn't. Guess he was involved, though. He'll get 26th. Cody Lamas, Matthew Rodriguez, Benny Watson, Sebastian Kukulon, James Qualls, Casey Nanico. They all retired after that wreck. Austin LaPlante to the race lead. Now it comes down to who's got a car that is not damaged and off the pace, I think. Up here in this lead group, we've got about 9 race cars, rather. And as I look, I see a number of drivers that are still looking for their first win of their Duracell Cup Series career. You got Seth Cole there in the 72, Vincent Riego the 42, Johnny Gardner in the 14, Ryan Acosta in the 10, Dylan Young in the 2, and of course, how about the guy hounding for the race lead? Trying to get his first win in his rookie season, only his third start of the year, Marcus Sacchi in the 21. Both of his other teammates are out of this race. Carson Gum out after the last wreck. Derek Hamill retired very early on. And now Ryan Acosta going to go for the second spot. Can't do it. Well, they're leaning on each other back here. Carter Friesen, Johnny Gardner, and Wyatt Quayle. Dylan Young's going to follow in the tire tracks of the El Gato Chevy Camaro up front. Battle for the lead. Marcus Sacchi to the bottom. LaPlante up top. Looks like LaPlante got a better run there off the top side to hold on to the top position. Back here, a battle between some teammates. This is for 9th. Trey Wright, last week's winner. Jordan Lopez, the defending winner of this race. They're just trying to finish out the race as best they can, I think, as they are obviously off the pace. Both come into this race inside the top 10 in the point standings, though. Or, I'm sorry, one of them does. Trey Wright second in points. He's trying to run down Seth Cole for the overall points lead, but Seth Cole's up there in that lead pack. Jordan Lopez trying to work his way back up into the top 10 in points. He's 16th in the standings coming into this race. There's William Brock there in the 88, 7th in the points coming to this race, so he's trying to salvage what he can. And Zach Rogers definitely, I think, should get the, what's that award that they get for, can't think of it. Die Hard Racer. I think he should get the Die Hard Racer award here today. 13th is where he runs right now. That car has been involved in 3 different wrecks that I can recall today, and yet he is still running. Also needs a good run, too, as he is 28th in the points coming into this race. And right now, Benjamin Miles is the last car running on the track in 14th place. Benjamin Miles coming into this race 5th in points. And I've seen a lot of drivers that are damaged and off the pace that are just like soldiering on to try and keep themselves up there in the points. Miles, Trey Wright, and William Brock all fit that bill. Ooh, 3 wide for the lead coming off turn 4. That was an awfully close 3 wide as well. Dylan Young, Ryan Acosta, and Wyatt Quayle. And they are catching Benjamin Miles that we saw before. And he's going to be in the way. So slow traffic's definitely going to play a factor in this race too. As Dylan Young around the outside is going to take the race lead. We talked about last week when we went to Manassas how back in season 1 at the start of the 2-mile and mile-and-a-half speedways, Ford Mustang really was dominant. Well, we got an opportunity here for another Ford Mustang to win at Las Vegas with Dylan Young out in front. Right now we got Ford, Toyota, Chevy, your top 3 positions. as Wyatt Quayle wants the race lead back. And looks like he very well might take it down here into turn 3. You're about to catch Zach Rogers, and I also just thought too, when we went back green, how many laps were left, did I say? 28? We might be close on fuel. These drivers might have to pit at least one more time. This time, the outside line's going to get held up, as Wyatt Quayle on the bottom is going to go to the lead. Austin LaPlante's going to move into second. Marcus Sacchi into third. Last week, Marcus Sacchi went into Manassas, second in the point standings to Cole Baker. And then after Manassas, he came here into Las Vegas, 20th in points after losing 18 positions in the standings. So definitely looking to bounce back here today. And could we see, in only our third race of the season, a rookie go to victory lane? The field got split up now. We've only got 6 drivers up in this lead pack. 7th and 8th, Seth Cole, Johnny Gardner back here trying to catch back up. Same for Carter Friesen, who just now got around Zach Rogers. I think Seth Cole and Johnny Gardner might be able to catch up to this top 6, so I don't think that that's going to be an issue. And we're going to take a quick commercial break and be right back with the action. Don't go anywhere. Field hits the line. We've got a total of 14 laps remaining here at Las Vegas. You haven't missed a thing. There's been some great battling up front here, though. Dylan Young now takes the race lead. Vince Almriego had a turn out in front a couple of laps ago. Ryan Acosta was just moments ago the race leader as well. And we're still wondering about if these drivers are good to go on fuel. They might have to hit pit road at least one more time. And there is your answer. Marcus Sacchi from the 5th position on pit lane. Carter Friesen hits as well. So the fuel window apparently is open. And now we got to see who's going to be pitting from this lead group here. I think Marcus Sacchi was at the very tail end of this lead group, so he was the one that threw down the gauntlet. And nobody's going to pit from this group this time. So some drivers deciding to short pit right when the window opened. Other drivers deciding to stretch it as far as they can. Obviously, the last thing now that Marcus Sacchi wants to see is a caution, because that would actually trap him a lap down. Slower car of William Brock up ahead that these drivers are going to have to deal with. He's a teammate to the 48 of LaPlante out of Northeast Motorsports, so will he be willing to throw some blocks for his teammate? There was nearly a wreck right there. Boy, LaPlante nearly got into the right rear quarter panel of Ryan Acosta and turned him up into the wall. That would have not been good. Now that inside line getting held up behind William Brock as Ryan Acosta gets away, at least for the moment. Now Vince Almriego to the inside, and how ironic that the car that William Brock ends up holding up out of all these drivers is his teammate LaPlante in the 48. Look at the run there that Vince Almriego got on Ryan Acosta, who was all by himself with about a 2.5 car length gap. And now Dylan Young using the run as well. He'll make it 3 wide into turn 1. Right now, these guys don't look like they're thinking about pitting at all. They are fighting tooth and nail for the race lead. Sounds like we got another car up ahead to deal with. Looks like that might be Benjamin Miles again in the 33. Yes, it is. That's another teammate to Austin LaPlante as well. And this time, it's going to pay dividends for the 48 as the outside line gets held up. Quayle to the lead. LaPlante will move into second. And now Ryan Acosta will slot into third. Let's see if anybody else came to pit road yet. Nope, Johnny Gardner, Seth Cole still out there. Here's the driver you got to wonder about, Marcus Sacchi, because he came to pit road. He's good to go on fuel now, but he doesn't really have anybody out there to draft with, so his lap times are infinitely slower than those other drivers he's trying to run down. There's Carter Friesen as well. He's found a group to work with, Jordan Lopez and Trey Wright, so he might pick up some spots here when the pit stop cycle around. And boy, Vince Almriego and Dylan Young really got held up behind both Benjamin Miles and William Brock, as we've only got 3 drivers now up here battling for the lead. LaPlante, Quayle, and Acosta. And out of these three, the only one that hasn't won a Duracell Cup Series race is the 10 car. LaPlante won last year at New Hampshire. Wyatt Quayle won last year at Dover. LaPlante was in the playoffs. Quayle was not. Catching the 6 of Zach Rogers, who at this point is still on the lead lap. At least I think he is. Oh no, he's a lap down. I guess he must have come to pit road or something. I don't remember them lapping the 6 car. And now he's going to hold up both the inside and outside lane. Now it's going to be Wyatt Quayle forging a path to the inside. But there's still the question of these drivers having to pit, because next time by it's 5 laps to go. Is anyone good to go on fuel? Has anyone been saving? I don't know. Look at the run LaPlante got there out of turn 4 to the left rear quarter panel of Ryan Acosta. You saw right there Vince Almriego on pit road. Almriego was in the 4th position. And he's just now leaving pit lane. So I very greatly doubt that these drivers up here can make it, but you never know. Dylan Young there in the 4th position. Would he be willing to go for it and risk it? Who can make it on fuel? Dylan Young stayed out. William Brock is in, and he was a lap car. And Johnny Gardner will give up the 6th position to come to pit lane. So we're still waiting on LaPlante, Quayle, Acosta, Young, and Cole. Trey Wright's going to come to pit lane this time, as will Jordan Lopez. And here come the leaders, all 3 of them. What about 4th place Dylan Young? He is in as well. Seth Cole in the 72, the points leader. He's going to also pit, so this is it. This is the money stop. Pit stop's taking place with about 4 laps remaining in this race. Who is going to cycle out to the top spot? Vince Almriego just went around to get his lap back. We'll have to see about him and Marcus Sacchi if they're going to be able to make a lap here before these pit stops are completed to get themselves up here in the battle for this win. Gas and go only for Quayle, LaPlante, and Acosta. So it looks like it's going to be these 3 that are going to settle it out for this win, perhaps. All they needed was a splash to be able to make it these final few laps. They didn't bother to go with tires, so Quayle will be the leader with LaPlante 2nd, Acosta 3rd, Dylan Young will come out in 4th. Looks like Vince Almriego will cycle around to 5th place. Marcus Sacchi to 6th, Johnny Gardner to 7th, Seth Cole's going to fall all the way back to 8th. But now the question is, will LaPlante and Acosta be able to run down Wyatt Quayle with 2 laps to go? LaPlante had a faster lap time, but I think that was just based off of them coming off of pit road. We'll compare lap times this time by, as they will see the white flag, and Wyatt Quayle's got a pretty good gap back to Austin LaPlante. We'll see if LaPlante can run him down, but he doesn't have a whole lot of time because the white flag's in the air. 1 lap to go at Las Vegas. 29.293 for Quayle. LaPlante 29.226. He was faster, but he still got about 1.1 seconds to make up between himself and the Burger King Toyota Camry. Last year, Wyatt Quayle did not make the playoffs. He was outside the top 35 in points despite a win at Dover. Did he clinch himself a spot in the playoffs this season with a win? We'll see, but he'll take the checkered flag and win the Hollywood Casino 400 at Las Vegas. Wyatt Quayle came into this race 34th in the point standings after the first 2 races. And yet another driver going to victory lane here at the beginning of the season that last season found himself finishing out the year outside of the top 30 in the point standings. Wyatt Quayle finished out last year's standings 39th. So if you look at our first 3 race winners, Cole Baker winning the 500. He finished out season 1 38th in points. Last week's winner of Manassas, Trey Wright, finished 33rd in the points. And now Wyatt Quayle winning today at Las Vegas. He was 39th in the point standings after the conclusion of last season. So you think these drivers that had poor seasons last year are motivated this year? I think that's definitely the case. And how about this? First 3 races, 3 different manufacturers. Chevy at Daytona, Ford at Manassas, and Toyota here today at Las Vegas. Wyatt Quayle with his second career Duracell Cup Series victory. It's his first at a 1.5 mile track. Austin LaPlante will finish the day out in second. Ryan Acosta brings it home in third. And depending on where Seth Cole finished, he finished in 8th. So no, I don't think Ryan Acosta is going to take the points lead over, but it'll be a very close battle between himself and Seth Cole heading into next week's race at Atlanta. Dylan Young, first time this season, he'll get a top 5 finish. It's actually his first top 10 of the season as well, so he'll get 4th. Vince Almriego brings it home in 5th. Highest finishing rookie, about Marcus Sacchi there in 6th. Johnny Gardner will bring it home 7th. 8th was Seth Cole, so he'll keep the points lead. Carter Friesen was 9th. Last week's winner, Trey Wright, will finish in the 10th position. Jordan Lopez, who won this race a year ago, will finish the day out in 11th, last car in the lead lap. And then 3 cars finished a lap down, William Brock, Zach Rogers, and Benjamin Miles. But they still managed to finish in the top 15. Then everybody else finished out of the race. The chief cause, 2 big wrecks that took place. One just before the midway point of the race, and one that was our last caution. And it took from 15th on down through 40th out of this race. Undoubtedly, so far, the biggest amount of DNFs we have had at this point of the season. But that is going to do it here from Las Vegas. Wyatt Quayle having it his way as the Burger King Toyota will go to victory lane. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race here from Las Vegas. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and become part of the crew today. We have shown you full finish results, and these are your point standings heading into next week's race at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's the first time that we will be using the 2019 rules package there. We didn't use it last season, so what kind of racing can we expect to see? We're just have to wait and find out. Until then, I've been Seth Cole. You've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best. So long from Las Vegas.